Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor podcast.
You know, why don't we get into what we like to do around here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's that time to talk about Bachelor stuff on our show. Yes. This show provides all the Bachelor drama you've been missing in the off season. Before we get talking Bachelor Nation, though, YouTube, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop new Bachelor content, just like this. And if you just did, oh man, huge shout out to you. Ooh, air horns for you. You know, we have to shout out. We got the full comment crew, Nancy Drew crew back in action.
Woo.
You know,
Yeah,
it was
they dragged them all back.
Yeah, we had to. You know, I think it was Chelsea Allen last week that was missing, and you know, Catherine Ann and Kathleen Kent, you know, were there to you know, send out the the bat signal, you know, and we found her. She was all right. It was just like one of those things where she just missed a week. You know, it was New Year's. We understood, but don't let it happen again, because we were scared. You know, it's like one of those things like when you move to college and you're like, I swear, Mom, I'll call you every Sunday. That's what I kind of feel like it is. It's like, you know, it's something wrong if she doesn't leave a comment. So I'm glad everyone is safe. Nancy Drew crew is back in full. So shout out to you guys. And you could get a shout out too on the show. Be part of our very special family. All you got to do is leave a comment in the comment section. Let us know that you subscribed or gave us a thumbs up, and you know, get here on the show forever and ever. So I think that's pretty special, right, V?
I agree. I mean, and plus Nancy Drew crew, it's such a fun little crew to be a part of.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, that might just be its own crew, but what if we get another crew started? That'd be crazy.
It could be like, it will literally be like West Side Story. They'll be snapping in the comments, fighting each other.
When you're in crew, you're a crew all the way. So yeah, I mean, just join a crew, and make sure you're subscribing. So shout out to y'all. V, what do we got in Bachelor Nation this week? What's going on?
Well, first off, we would be remiss if we didn't start off with something, because, you know, Bachelor news, our Bachelor journey, future Bachelor. We missed, last week was technically our 5th anniversary.
What? Yo, round of applause for us.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a feat. That's pretty. You know, that's half a decade we've been doing this.
Crazy.
It might not seem like it, but we've been doing this, staying consistent, and you know, this has been an awesome outlet for both of us. I'm speaking for myself, but I mean, you know, I honestly look at this show as being also just an awesome thing to do with you. I love how it's evolved our friendship, our relationship, and, you know, we're a duo that everyone knows. It's like, yo, there's V, there's Sai, you know, it's just kind of like the pod duo, the friends. And I
know people still, I have a sticker on my computer that I bring to work, and I was in a meeting today and someone was like, wait, what does that say? And I was like, well.
I'll never leave. I'm like a ghost in the halls. Yeah, I mean, but just in general, like we really don't miss weeks. Like, it's like there would have to be something real bad, like, for us to just
we've
miss
only missed like for technical issues. And yeah, I mean, and that's a true testament. Like, this is just something that, you know, it's almost sometimes like I used to think like, are we frauds or anything, like, as far as being podcasters? But we are podcasters. Like, you know, we podcast.
We pod hard, you know, and we know what this game is all about. So, and we're still learning. You know, I'm constantly trying to evolve. You know, YouTube has been a new frontier for us. You know, as far as
which we love you guys there.
Yeah, of course. You know, and we're just gonna keep it going. I think, you know, we used to do it in person and stuff. We've been doing it like this, you know, we could do it in person, but like honestly doing it like this, or even knowing that we could do it like this, it's like if we moved away, we know we could do this from anywhere. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, just shout out to everybody that's been, you know, a listener all along. If you're still around or if you're new, we just appreciate y'all. So, with that being said, V, why don't we get into what we do, you know?
Awesome. Yeah. So, first up for our Bachelor Nation news, Teddy, you know, who left Paradise, left the beach in a hurry, definitely maybe was forced off the beach, who's to say, after things that happened between like her and Andrew and wanting Rodney and whatever. She has been posting some Instagram pics and videos with her new boyfriend, who she had her first New Year's kiss ever with. Aww. Which, remember, yes, she didn't have a kiss when she went into Clayton season. Clayton was, I think, her first kiss. So
what do you mean first kiss? Ever? Like first kiss ever?
I think so, yeah.
Wow. Oh man, that's a lucky guy, that's for sure. Teddy's a beautiful girl, smart, and yeah, definitely one of the standouts for me in the last year of cast members. So good for her. I'm glad to see that she's happy. You know, it's probably been like a rough couple months, you know, post Paradise because of
after seeing it all air.
Yeah, and everyone just like Team Andrew so much that like it kind of like framed her of being like a bad guy when all she did was just stand up for herself. So you know, I respect Teddy even more for that type of stuff. So I'm happy that she's happy. Hopefully this is something that lasts. You know,
and it seems like he's not in the franchise, which good for her.
Yeah, that's another thing. And I think it only takes being bit by the franchise once to kind of realize that like that's not the realm I want to be in. So I totally respect that. I'm trying to think. I feel like I remember her saying like something about like just because I don't have sex doesn't mean that I don't kiss. Like I feel like she like I remember us having conversations about like she must be like a really good kisser because like you know that's what she does.
Maybe she was just a virgin, but I feel like there's something with like a first kiss though too. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I'm happy for her. What else is going on?
So obviously we're ramping up for Zach's season. Ramping being a very term used loosely.
Yeah.
And so Jesse took to TikTok live last week to do like a little reveal of the cast, which I didn't watch, but I heard and I've seen from other news outlets or other folks on the Bachelor Nation news circuit, if you will, that it was a disaster. The audio was all wonky, like half of like what Jesse was saying people couldn't hear, and like I guess Katie Thurston commented on it being all like, this seems like a metaphor for the season. So definitely was not a good look, and when they were trying to do something that, you know, was being more like with the times, like putting themselves on TikTok and stuff like that. But I mean, right now I feel like a lot of the different Bachelor related accounts are trying to like find similarities between some of these girls with past contestants, and some of these, like I've been seeing a lot of like doppelgangers, which some of them I could see, but then some of them are just a reach where it's like, yeah, this blonde like girl does look sort of like this other blonde girl from a previous season, but isn't that the fucking bit the entire time we've been doing this show?
Right. You know, I'm looking through this cast and there's some beautiful women. Like,
I agree.
I am kind of blown away here by these pictures that I'm looking at. We got Kat, who's a dancer, you know, 26. She's beautiful. You know, obviously I'm a huge fan of Brianna, who already won the first rose. Entrepreneur from Jersey City.
That's right. She won the first rose. Good job.
Yeah, she's so beautiful. Definitely still probably number one front runner for me this season. Hopefully she makes it far. We got Ariel. You know, she's beautiful.
She's very cute.
This girl Anastasia.
I was about to say Anastasia caught my eye.
Yeah. Definitely up my alley right there. So Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how this goes down. Do you think it's gonna like? All right, so something I did notice was that Jesse Palmer was talking like since Chris Harrison dropped his podcast, which we'll talk about in a second, and named it the most dramatic podcast ever, which is genius, I think. He was talking about it not being the most dramatic,
the most emotional.
It's now the most emotional season ever. Do you think that has to do with the Chris Harrison thing?
It might, and also it feels like it might, and it like feels like a way of like, how can we differentiate ourselves or like whatever, and make sure we're not like reminding people that this podcast exists. And I don't think it's a good rebrand, TBH. I don't think it's working for them. But.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny too because I was watching a clip of Michelle talking to Jesse and them talking about the new season, and she kind of called him out on it. She was like, wait, so what is your definition of emotional? Like, is it mean like is like the viewers going to be emotional, or is like the people emotional like on the show? Like, she was kind of just like, are you saying that like my season, like I was kind of getting like feelings like she was kind of like, was my season not emotional enough for you? Like, so I think it's interesting.
Yeah, that gets into dicey. Dramatic at least feels like more of like a broad brush, where things could be dramatic for being like overly loud or like, fighty or like emotions, and it just makes it a little bit emotional. Though if we're gonna like try to put value to emotions, things are gonna get dicey.
Yeah, I mean the way you're try to spin it was that Zach is obviously like, it's not anything hidden, but he's more of like going back to the traditional Bachelor, as being, obviously,
traditional.
Yeah. But
winky, winky.
He's saying though that in the sense that like he really was intentional in trying to talk to everybody, like, made it a point to make sure that he got to know everybody as much as he possibly could. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. Obviously, we say this every go around that the first episode is, the way we get introduced to the cast, but it's not the best episode. Like, it's just kind of blah, because I mean, you get the cliche entrances and everything like that. And at this point, they're just cringy as hell. Like, I think they're meant to be at this point. So
it's so cringy.
I feel bad for people that they have to even do it,
Right.
I guess they don't have to. Like, if they, at the very least, they could just come out and be normal, be like, hi, and just ditch whatever like producers are. But then you get on their bad side and they're like, no more of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what this season brings us. Anything else coming out of Zach's upcoming season?
So I feel like the previews have been very bland. They, once again, like all the ones that I've been seeing are very much so like he's there for the right reasons. Like it's the, that time of year, like 'tis the season, like whatever. It's like nothing. It's like very bland, doesn't really like go in on him, which goes back to what you were just saying about how it's very much so leaning into like, we're resetting the format back to like the OG almost, which I'm like, okay, but like, could we still see some personality? Which I feel like we're getting none of that out of these previews so far. And the most that we're getting, like, I think the one that they really thought was going to be the shocker was like they had one girl in like her little confessional. It's like they're like whipping through like the same 5 scenes that they've shown us like in these different previews. They have like the one girl in her confessional being like, if I don't get a rose, I'm gonna burn this place down, which like, that's honestly, like, you're going to, like, it's not like she's literally going to be like, and I'm going to commit arson. Like, it's not.
Hey, maybe that's her therapy too, just
right.
like it's mine.
Like, yeah, maybe she's just a pyro like Sai. But I feel like they're trying really hard. But the one big thing is, out of his contestants, Victoria Jameson, I believe her name is, she was married to Viner Matt Kraft, so big on Vine back when Vine existed, RIP. And she's been making, she has like 1 million followers on TikTok, and she's been making TikToks about how like this is like her hard launch for her divorce, and how she's all like, me knowing that like my ex and his entire family is gonna see me on national television looking for love. Like, so
Definitely, she's already like an online fan fave, I think, just for that kind of presence. But we'll have to see how far she even makes it.
Was it a bad breakup? Like, what happened?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about this Vine dude, but I'm guessing based on like how she's like really hyping this up, but also that could just be of the culture of like being in that kind of relationship. It feels like she's like trying to be all like, yo, but she's young. I think she's like maybe 30. So
I mean, do you think she's going to make it far?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like that's definitely gonna be a storyline in the show, is gonna be like how she is divorced, and people are gonna be like, maybe she's known to some of these young girls like for being in some sort of videos or something. I wouldn't know her, but maybe she is known.
Man, these girls are beautiful. This is crazy. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna be tuning in. Yeah, that's good. Awesome. Well, let's talk. We mentioned it a little bit earlier, but what's been going on with Chris Harrison dropping his new podcast?
He's been talking about, the whole controversy, fallout, and everything of that, and how he was sick to his stomach, lost 20 pounds after it all happened, and because he like couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and how, he really respects his pal Wells in the wake of all of it, reaching out, like trying not to, get his feet muddy in the whole mess, but like being all like, hey, I support you, but also like I'm gonna get my back and keep working for like Paradise and stuff. And Chris Harrison obviously like really wished the best for Wells and kind of wanted Wells to step into his open hosting spot. As well, on the other hand, is he saw how Nick Viall was circling like a little vulture, like the little vulture that he was, and trying to like.
I think he quote said like he tasted the blood in the water or something like that.
Yeah. So he thought that Nick Viall was like trying to like really get in there, but then I think Nick Viall got too busy like making sure his book was coming out and all that bullshit. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm so happy Nick is not the host of that show.
That would be.
I can't even stand him, and I don't even see any of his content.
Insufferable. It would be insufferable. And I will say I was a longtime Nick Viall apologist, and I no longer, forgive me for I have sinned, but I was a big Nick Viall apologist.
I saw a lot of other stuff coming out of it too, like Chris was talking about how he's like, looking at the numbers of Bachelor and how the views have declined. He's all like,
look at the ratings now. And I'm like, all right.
But you have to admit, though, like when Chris left, I'm sure people stopped watching the show. Not everyone, but like people were like, I'm over it. Things happen in shows like, even The Walking Dead. There was like that one season where Negan like bashed in. It always comes
back to The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Negan bashed in one of their heads, and they were just like, this is turning into like, gore porn or whatever like that. So it's like, we're gonna stop watching, and people just stopped tuning into it. I don't think everyone did, but obviously not us. But I could see
not
people.
Not you. I never watched the show, but
I'm talking about Chris Harris or The Bachelor.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, so and then he also had his wife on there too, which was interesting because she talked a lot about how she couldn't believe like she can't even watch the interview like that he did with like Rachel Lindsay because it's just it's a lot. Like she just talked about his state of mind being in that interview, where he was with the pandemic and all this different stuff, and how like they were advised to not talk a lot about the situation and to respond, which is actually kind of a mistake. Like nowadays, like if you're truly sincerely sorry about something, like you could just get online and point a camera at you and just kind of talk, like whether it's like right. It could be 5 hours. You're just like, I'm sorry, like that wasn't me, and people just like try to say that saying nothing sometimes is like better, and it maybe could be because things do move on, but someone as high profile as Chris Harrison, I think should have just immediately came out and been like, nope, like I messed up. and probably should have started his podcast a lot sooner. I don't know if he would have gotten paid by Bachelor as much
Probably
as he
not.
did, because I think they paid him to not talk about it for like 2 years.
Right.
But I don't know. I think it's very interesting to be able to have an outlet and say your thoughts, as opposed to letting the narrative be taken away by people online, because it's so negative these days. It's like there's no winning if you don't get your voice across, so yeah, I mean, I wonder what I think a lot of people are also kind of coming at it as in he hasn't really addressed the conversation with Rachel Lindsay as much as what he gotten into, what he said, and those type of things, more of just like addressing the aftermath of it all.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear more and more come out. I think he's definitely going to be a voice that we're going to hear from about different things, not like a reality Steve type of voice, but I'm sure, people are going to want to hear what his thoughts are on the franchise, past, present, and future. So, so I'm sure we'll be talking about him a lot more in the future. I'm glad it's him as opposed to Nick Vale we're talking about all the time. So, anyways, anything else going on?
Yeah, so I guess Susie went on Clickbait, which is the Bachelor Nation podcast, like with Joe, Grocery Store Joe, and several others. And I guess she was talking about how potentially, I mean, this could even be old news by the time this comes out, because it was a couple of days ago and they had to make decisions soon, but that she might be roomies with Andrew and Justin in LA, because I guess they're all going to LA for either a few months or something. I'm guessing like for, some content, some whatever. And so they might all be roomies, but stuff hasn't been finalized. They got to just make moves. So I don't know. What do you think about that combo of folks?
I mean, they're well liked. Justin's kind of like the oddball in there for me, but it just sounds like they're just trying to make a quarantine crew. They're like, what if we all get together and we just start making content together and we'll just be like this new, and then they're probably it's just like a trial to make a new podcast or something,
Yeah, maybe.
So, I mean, you heard it here first. Those are my thoughts on it. I would like to know more if they're actual like close friends or whatever. I know Andrew and Justin are.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Bless me. But
yeah, you're blessed.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I think, Susie, I don't know. I feel bad for Clayton. I don't know why I say that, but it's
that's a surprise coming from you, I guess.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's like, people still have feelings.
I know.
And it's like you move on. Now you're going to go move in with two dudes from The Bachelor. Like, even if they don't have like anything going on, it's still like, it sucks. So,
true.
I mean, but Susie's out here. Like, she's making it known.
She's out here in these streets.
She's out here in these streets. So, yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens with that. So what? We got like about 2 weeks until The Bachelor starts.
Yep. We got this episode, next episode. So we only have got one episode after this until The Bachelor starts.
So I think The Bachelor starts on our 250th episode.
No.
No?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that'll be an interesting mile marker right there. It's like, we started with a Bachelor season. Now we're about 250 episodes in, and it's going to be another Bachelor season. So let's get this rodeo started once again.
I thought you were about to say, let's get this bread.
Let's get this bread.
Let's get this Bachelor bread.
It's about time. But yeah, so what do you guys think? Give us a little shout out in the comments below for our 5-year anniversary. Did you see what Teddy's new boyfriend looks like? Are you happy for them? Let us know in the comments. Are you excited about Zach's season? Which girl are you excited to see? Let us know in the comments below. Have you been listening to Chris Harrison's podcast? Can you see Wells being the host of the show? Obviously that's another multiverse, but yeah, I mean, let us know what your thoughts are. Do you think Susie, Andrew, and Justin should be moving in together and make a new podcast? Let us know your thoughts. And give us a follow, give us a subscribe, give us a listen. Find us on podcasts everywhere, online, Instagram, and we'll see you next week for, what is that, the penultimate or the or the finale of our Bachelor break that we've got going on. So appreciate y'all.
Future Bachelor Podcast.